Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. We really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we do not take you for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you also find value with what we share here, be sure to like, drop your comments, share your views, and share this video to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. We'll also drop a link to the free Telegram group in the description of this video where we will be sharing updates of these setups as the week unfolds. So for this week, we are just going to go straight to the economic calendar and then tackle the recap at the latter part of this video. So for this week, we have a lot of high impact news, and as we know now, or as we've noticed for some time now, we also have these unexpected tweets and press statements which tends to affect the markets at random times. So we just have to be cautious with our trades and apply proper risk management to our trades as well. So going into next week, there's no high impact news on Monday 27th, and on Tuesday we're going to have the Bank of Japan release its policy rate or monetary policy statement. And there's also a bank holiday, I think, later. All of Tuesday, rather, for the Japanese yen. And on Wednesday, we're going to have the AUDCPY. Later in the day, there's going to be the monetary policy report for CAD. And also, we're going to have the FOMC for the USD on Wednesday. So let's look out for that. On Thursday, we're going to have the monetary policy report for the GBP, or the monetary policy summary for GBP on Thursday, which also comes along with the official bank rate as well. So later, after the monetary policy on the GBP, we're going to have the main refinancing rate and monetary policy statement for Euro. Some few minutes or hours after the GBP release. And later on the same day, we're going to have the CADCHF and then the USD Advanced GDP and Core PC Price Index, and then also the Employment Cost Index for the USD. On Friday, I think it's a May Day, so they're going to have bank holidays, I think, throughout the day for most of the major currencies. So let's see what we have for the coming week. This is DXY, and as the week went on last week, the market kept giving opposing views. At one point, you tend to see the market bullish. At another point, you tend to see the market bearish. So due to the uncertainties in the market now, we just have to be cautious or take caution with our trades or get proper confirmations for our trades before we execute. So this is DXY. This was a setup we had from last week, and I think we had a variant or a variation last week as the market was playing out. But then we are going to stick to last week's setups for the USD pairs and I think the CHF pairs. Yeah, so this is DXY, and last week we anticipated that price is going to react from this very first area of interest here or any of the two above. As you can see, price reacted from there with a bearish engulfing candle on the daily time frame. So going into next week, we are likely going to see this. This is possibly a bear flag that is developing. So we are likely going to see maybe a reversal pattern develop around this area, or we get a lower high formation. Price will just continue to the downside. So this might is possibly a bear flag. If we are going to use Elliott wave to count this, it is likely going to be wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Sorry, wave 2, wave 3, and this is a possible wave 4, and we're anticipating a possible wave 5, which will be a bearish move from where price currently is. So we are likely going to see this, or should price violate any of these zones above, then we know that we are going bullish. So we are going to stick to this bias for the coming week until something else comes up, and then we would come up with a new setup. Then we're going to post that in the Telegram group. So let's keep up with those updates as well. This is EURUSD. So last week we were anticipating that price was going to pull back. We're looking out for this potential harmonic pattern formation, and we're looking for a possible C-leg formation, and where we anticipated that price was going to pull back to retest this structure point right here. We got this bearish entry. We got this selling opportunity on EURUSD, which we were targeting the structure point as our target, but then price is currently also telling a different story. So rather set our break even on this trade and then see if it's going to play out rather as an Elliott wave, impulsive wave, which looks like this. So this, we are currently holding this position. So let me hide this to make the chart a bit cleaner, so I can talk about the possibilities for the coming week. Hide this. So yes, if we're going to consider this as an Elliott wave, impulsive wave, then this is likely developing what we call a leading diagonal. So this is the pattern that is likely developing. Let me move this one away. Yes. So we are likely going to see, we are likely seeing this development on EURUSD. So this is a possible leading diagonal. Something like this. So this would be our wave 4. I'll send you the. So if this is going to play out as an impulsive wave or a leading diagonal, then we're going to have this as wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then a possible wave 5 to the bullish side. So now we also can see that we have this flag formation, and we already have a breakout here. So what can happen is price can just give us a double bottom formation or come for a retest or create some reversal pattern here and then give us some buying opportunity to the upside to complete the leading diagonal formation. So we are going to look out for these buys as well. Should price continue to sell to this area of interest, which we were looking out for previously, we can still look out for the buys from there also to the upside. So let's be on the lookout. We'll consider this bullish move first before anything else. So this is also a possibility on EURUSD for the coming week. This is GBPUSD. So for GBPUSD, last week we were also anticipating a sell move to the various structure points where we were looking for to see price to buy from. But then the GBP was very strong last week, and then we didn't get that momentum we were looking for. So this trade is currently in a drawdown, and looking at what we saw on DXY and EURUSD, price is likely going to give us an impulsive wave right here on GBPUSD. So this is what is likely happening on the charts. So this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. We are waiting for the next wave, which is a wave 5. So this is likely going to be a bullish flag, which is going to give us a continuation of the wave 5 that is here to complete the entire impulse. So the impulsive wave is 5 waves, so 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the entire correction we have here, and then we're going to see an impulse all the way up. So this TP1 might be our target, our initial target for now. Until we're able to reach this target, then we'll consider some more buying opportunities to the upside. So we are very bullish for now. GBPUSD looks very bullish. So we are going to consider a possible pullback for an entry, then we'll take our trade to the upside. So we are bullish on GBPUSD for the coming week. This is USDCHF. For USDCHF, Last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back into this area of interest to give us selling opportunities to the downside, and price has made its way around this area, and there's a daily structure right here also within this zone before the weekly area of interest. So should price react from here and go down, it's also possible, and price can also pull back all the way into the area of interest above, and then we get clearer confirmations from the zone, and then we look for selling opportunities to the downside. So we are still going to look at the bearish side of things for USDCHF until price breaks above these zones, and then that's when we confirm or consider USDCHF very bullish. And another possibility is price can also pull back to retest this daily structure we have here. We can have a pullback to this daily structure, and price can just continue to the upside. So we're just going to be patient to see how price unfolds, and then we'll take our decisions on USDCHF. But we are already holding a buy position, which I want to talk about in the recap and the latter part of this video. This is AUDUSD, and AUDUSD is extremely bullish. Price has retested or reacted from the area of interest. So going into next week, we are looking for it to this structure shift, this daily structure shift. Should we get a daily structure shift here, you get a pullback or a possible higher low formation, we look for buying opportunities to the upside. So we are very bullish on AUDUSD for the coming week. Into the next, this is NZDUSD. So NZDUSD last week too, we anticipated that price could react from this area of interest first, without even getting to the initial areas of interest we had below, which we anticipated that price was going to retest to give us some buying opportunities. We saw that pullback, and somewhere during the week, price was behaving as if it was going to be very bearish, but we are just going to stick with this bias, and I think this is also giving us an alert wave formation as well. Yes, so this will be the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. We are looking forward to wave 5. So this is a flat correction, a possible flat correction right here, and price can just continue to the bullish side. So what we are looking forward to is a daily structure shift. Should we get a daily structure shift here? Should we get a daily candle break above this structure point over here? We look forward to a possible pullback, and then we look for buying opportunities to the upside to complete the wave 5 for this possible impulse on NZDUSD. This is EURJPY. So EURJPY, last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back to any of these two areas of interest to give us buying opportunities to the upside. As price was developing, we saw this selling opportunity, which was a counter trend trade. We took our very first opportunity of very first sell, which got hit by this move. So this was an SL, and we were able to catch the same entry again on this move. So we are currently in profit on this position, which we are holding on to this very TP we have below here. So we are still going to consider the bullish side. We are just going to wait for price to retrace all the way back to the area of interest. We are looking forward to the possible buying opportunities to take our buys from there. This is CHFJPY. So for CHFJPY, we are still looking at the setup we had from last week. We are still waiting for this possible pullback into this area of interest and for buying opportunities to the upside. So we are just going to be patient for this to develop some more before we take our decision. This is AUDJPY, same setup from last week. We are still expecting price to pull back to the areas of interest, any of the areas of interest, to give us buying opportunities to the upside. So we are just going to be patient with that for the coming week. This is NZDJPY, and NZDJPY, we are still considering the setup from last week. Should price pull back to this very first area of interest, we will look for buying opportunities here to the upside. Or if it retraces to any of these zones we have below, we'll still be interested in the buying opportunities to the upside for NZDJPY. This is GBPCHF, which is giving us an opposite move, something opposite to what we saw on EURCHF. So going into next week, GBPCHF is giving us a very strong bullish momentum, considering the bullishness we have on GBP. So price, we are looking forward to price retracing back into this area of interest, look for buying opportunities upside. Should price pull back to the second zone below, we'll still be interested in the buys from there. Should it come to the third zone below and give us confirmation, so we'll still be interested. This can only be invalidated, or this can only be considered very bearish if price is able to clear these daily structures we have here to the downside and come for a retest and continue to the downside. So we are very bullish on GBPCHF for the coming week. This is CADCHF. We actually took a loss on this trade. We took a sell on this pair, and we took a loss. I think we cut the loss before we hit our SL actually. So going into next week, we are going to look out for this bullish opportunity on CADCHF. We are waiting for a possible pullback into the area of interest, either this first area of interest or the second area of interest below. And we look for buying opportunities from there to the upside. If this happens, we're going to see a possible harmonic pattern formation. Sorry. We're likely going to see a possible harmonic pattern formation, which we are going to have this as X, A, possible B leg. We look forward to a possible C leg, then we look forward to the D leg all the way up. So this is likely going to happen on CADCHF for the coming week. This can also be invalidated or shift bearish, extremely bearish if price comes all the way to break this daily structure over here and move to the downside. So our current bias for CADCHF is going to be on the bullish side for the coming week. This is GBPNZD, and we have been holding a position on this pair for I think for 2 weeks now, and we'll talk about that in the recap. Currently, price is giving us a strong reaction from an area of interest over here, and we have this shift right here. It's a daily shift, a daily structure shift right here. Going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a possible pullback into this area of interest to look for buying opportunities from here to the upside. Should price also pull back a bit deeper into the zone we have below, we can still look for some buying opportunities from here. This can only be considered very bearish or shift very bearish now if price is able to violate, or if price is able to break, if price is able to break this daily structure or clear this zone and move to the downside. But for now, GBPNZD is giving us more of a bullish sentiment than a bearish sentiment. So we are going to look at the bullish side of things first for GBPNZD. And let's move to the next. This is EURNZD. EURNZD has a similar setup as GBPNZD's. Price is also currently reacting from a very strong area of interest. This trade was not taken, but it was just indicating how price might play out for the coming week. So we're just looking forward to a possible 4-hour structure shift or daily structure shift here. Then we look for a possible higher low formation. We look for a continuation to the upside. So we are very bullish on EURNZD for the coming week. Should price find its way all the way breaking below this zone or area of interest, then we look for selling opportunities to the downside. But for now, we are considering the bullish side of things for EURNZD. This is NZDCAD. And NZDCAD has become very tricky. On a weekly perspective, it's giving us some bearish moves. On a daily perspective, it's giving us some bearish moves as well. And I think the 4-hour also is giving us some bearish moves. So we're going to look at the bearish side of things for NZDCAD for the coming week. Should price pull back to retest this area of interest or pull back anywhere around here and give us selling confirmation, so we can look out for selling opportunities from here to the downside. Should price also make its way all the way back to the area of interest or the 2 areas of interest here and still give us selling opportunities, we look for selling opportunities to the downside. This can only be considered very bullish if we get a daily candle break above here and continue the buy to the upside. So we are currently going to look at the bearish side for NZDCAD than the bullish side. I think it's quite different from AUDCAD. AUDCAD is quite the opposite of this. So this is gold. So going into next week, what we are going to look out for is a possible daily structure shift. Should we get a daily structure shift? Price has pulled back into an area of interest where we're looking forward to buy from last week. And then as of last week, due to the way the crude oil prices moved, it was giving us some false sentiment that gold was going to sell. But then we are still going to look at the both sides for gold. So should we get a daily candle, clear this daily structure here, We'll look forward to a higher low formation, and we continue the buys to the upside for gold. Should we get selling opportunities around, if we get a daily candle close below this daily structure here, and we get a higher low, a lower high formation right here, like more like a right shoulder, then we can look for selling opportunities from here to the downside. But then if price also pulls back all the way, we're looking forward to price to buy from either this first zone or the second zone. So if price also pulls back all the way to the second zone and give us buying opportunities here, we can still look out for buys from here also to the upside. So it's a bit tricky, but we are looking forward to this very daily structure shift to the upside, and then look for buying opportunities to the upside for gold. So these are the various targets we had from the previous week for gold. This is silver, and we saw a similar setup as we saw on gold. So price, we're looking forward to a pullback to the areas of interest, any of these two areas of interest, to get buying opportunities. So going into next week, we are just going to wait for a daily structure shift here. We look forward to a possible higher low formation and look for buying opportunities to the upside. Should price also find a way to clear this daily structure we have here, give us some closures below this zone, come for a retest, and look for the downside for silver. But for now, we're going to consider the bullish side first before the bearish side for silver. This is Brent crude oil. So for Brent crude oil, we took some losses on Brent crude oil from the previous positions we're holding from the previous week, and now it's giving us clear bullish moves. So going into next week, we are looking for a possible pullback into this area of interest. We look for buying opportunities here, and we take our buys to the upside. Should price give us a false buying move and comes all the way down to break this daily structure, give us some daily candle closure below this structure point and comes for a retest, we can still look out for the bearish sentiment we had from last week, where we were anticipating that price was going to pull back into the $66 to $75 per barrel area. So we are now bullish on Brent crude oil, but we just have to see how price plays out, and then we take our decision. So these are various targets above. We have the $120 per barrel, $134 or $135 per barrel, and then the ultimate is like around $186 per barrel for Brent crude oil. So we are very bullish now. Let's see how it goes. I mean, as we know, the tensions in the Middle East is what is affecting some of these pairs and some of these commodities. So let's see how it goes. This is US oil. So US oil, we're looking at something similar as we saw on Brent crude oil. We're looking forward to this possible pullback into this area of interest, and we look for buying opportunities to the upside. So these are our various targets we have for, I think this price point is 45 rather. Yes. So these are our targets we have for US oil or the WTI crude. Should price also find its way all the way down, clear this daily structure, then we are going to look at the bias we had from last week, and then look for selling opportunities to the targets we are looking forward to before we get a very strong bullish momentum. So we are bullish on the US oil for the coming week. This is German 30, and German 30 on the monthly, weekly perspective is giving us a bearish sentiment. So going into next week, we are looking forward to, price has currently reacted from a very strong area of interest. So we are looking forward to see either a daily candle closure below this daily structure point, and then wait for a lower high formation and look for selling opportunities to the downside. Or price can form a double top. Should price form a double top around this zone, or even a head and shoulder around this zone, we look forward to selling opportunities from here to the downside. So these are the various targets we have for the German 30 or the DAX 30. Should price also find its way to violate this zone and clear these daily structures we have here, then we know that we are extremely bullish. But for now, we are bearish on German 30. This is Australia 200. And for Australia 200, weekly, monthly, I think daily, yes, weekly, monthly is bearish, and daily is here to shift. But then if we look at this formation, price is currently reacting from a strong area of interest, and it gave us this nice evening star formation on the weekly time frame. So this nice evening star formation on the weekly time frame from a strong area of interest. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a possible lower high formation to give us a selling opportunity. Then we take ourselves to the downside. So we are looking for sales on Australia 200. But if price is able to break or clear these highs, then we know we are continuing to the bullish side. But for now, we are going to look at the bearish side of things for Australia 200. So we have here BTC. So for BTC, this setup was shared some episodes ago, and we were looking forward to see price shift this structure, or this monthly structure we have here, or 3-month structure we have here. It's a very strong structure point here, and price has closed below it, which is giving us an indication that price wants to be bearish, or price wants to go bearish. And currently, after price broke this or cleared this structure point, we are now seeing a possible pullback to either this very first area of interest or this second area of interest to give us selling opportunities to the downside. So going into the weeks ahead of us, we are looking forward to a possible reaction, a possible selling opportunity from this very first zone we have here. And should we get a selling opportunity here, we'll look for selling opportunities from this very first zone, and then our targets are going to be the 58k to the 46k area, and then the second possible area of interest is also 35k. But then we are just going to wait for price to shape up. Should price pull back into this area of interest and give us some reversal confirmations here, we can take the sales from here to this very first area of interest below us. If price also finds its way all the way high to the second zone above and gives us selling opportunities from there, which is around 93k to 102k, if price finds its way here to react from here and give us selling opportunities, we can also take the sales from here to the downside. And this can only be considered bullish if we get a weekly candle break this weekly structure we have here. If we get a weekly candle closing above this weekly structure, then we will now be convinced to look at the bullish side of things for BTC. But until then, we are very bearish on BTC, but we just have to wait for price to give us some reactions at the various areas of interest before we take ourselves to the downside. And so now let's jump into the recap from last week. So we have this position we've been holding from, I think, episode 39. We had this setup from episode 39 on natural gas, and last week we anticipated that price was going to give us, as price was developing, we saw this. We're looking for a structure point, a structure shift here, and look for a possible higher low formation, a lower high formation, sorry, to get a selling opportunity to the downside, a continuation to the downside. We didn't get that opportunity. Price went back to our entry area, and then later on tanked all the way down. So we are still holding on to this position, and we are almost at TP2. So we are holding this very strong. But if we are able to get more selling opportunities to the downside, we'll still take that opportunity, and then we'll continue the sales to the downside for the natural gas. So this is the buy position we caught on USDCHF last week. So going to next week, this is the possible buying continuation. If price is able to react from this zone we have here, we might look out for the continuation of the buy to complete this buy at this very TP before maybe we look out for the selling opportunities on USDCHF. So we are currently holding on to this buy position on USDCHF. This is EURJPY. So I'll say this EURJPY will give us a very clean head and shoulder formation, and out of FOMO, in order not to miss this position or miss this trade, we hopped onto it because of the confirmation we saw on CADCHF. There was a selling confirmation on CADCHF, which indicated that price wanted to sell. And in order not to miss this trade, we took this trade, and then later on we closed it. I think how price was shaping up was not very encouraging, so we closed it around this area. We closed it in small profit around this area. We're going to wait for price to give us a clearer view. Initially, we wanted price to retest this area of interest first before the sell. It just tipped it a little bit and it started moving. So price might now since now that price has reacted from the zone or reached the area of interest, you might now see maybe some reactions from here to the downside, and which is quite opposite to what we have on CADCHF and GBPCHF. So we just have to be patient and see how it goes. Price can equally, because euro is very weak now. Euro is very weak, so it can play out and sell. It can also shift structure here and continue, give us some bullish movements and continue to the upside. So let's see how it goes. Sorry. So this is EURJPY last week. We anticipated that price was going to give us either going to break out of this what do you call it, flag formation and give us a retest and continue to the upside, or price was going to close with a daily candle below this daily structure we have here. Price closed with a daily candle, but we didn't get a clean retest to give us a selling opportunity to the targets we were looking out for from the previous week. So we missed out on EURJPY. And this is Brent crude oil, which we took 2 losses on. So from the previous week, we had this selling opportunity from this bearish engulfing candle here, which we anticipated that we were going to get a continuation to the downside. So price pulled back last week and we saw some confirmations around here. We took our second position and just broke through. So we were entirely wrong on this position on Brent crude oil. So we took a loss on Brent crude oil last week, or 2 losses on Brent crude oil last week. So this is CADCHF. So we got this. We took this loss also, but we closed quite earlier before the actual SL was hit. So we got this selling confirmation. We're looking forward to a pullback into this area of interest. We got this head and shoulder formation. Price pulled back into the area of interest again and give us this nice bearish engulfing confirmation as well. So we took this position. Price played out a little bit, and then we saw that the price action was not good for the sell, so we closed out around here, and then later eventually price hits the SL. So that's why we are looking out for a bullish sentiment or bullish bias for CADCHF for the coming week. So this actual sell move has been invalidated. So this is the GBPNZD position we have been holding for about 2 weeks now. Along the way, during the week, we saw a selling opportunity here, which a day trading opportunity, which we were taking to continue this move as we thought it was going to be very bearish. So this position we took, this day trading position we took, hit our SL, and price is currently in drawdown in the actual trade we have been holding for about 2 weeks now. So as we saw from the earlier setup, we are likely going to get a bullish move on GBPNZD. So what we're going to do is we'll wait for price to pull back to that area of interest, and then we'll either close out at the retest of that area of interest in a small profit, or rather set a break even and then go risk free on this position. So we are just in a drawdown on this GBPNZD. We are just waiting for price to pull back, and then we'll take our decision. So this is GBPCAD. This setup was not shared last week, but then we saw this opportunity, we took it, and it was a loss. It was entirely wrong about GBPCAD, so we took a loss on this position. We got some confirmations here, but it was a loss on GBPCAD. And we also have here GBPJPY. And so for GBPJPY, similar to what we saw in EURJPY, price gave us some nice confirmations which we were looking forward to capitalize on, and then we saw the confirmation. We took our trade, we got hits because GBP was very strong last week. So any position against the GBP is just going to be against you. So we took a loss on this one too, on GBPJPY. So we are still looking forward to see if price will be able to pull back into the area of interest we have, the areas of interest we have below where we are looking forward to take our buys from. So we are looking forward to this possible pullbacks to take our buys from there. So thank you so much for sticking through to the end of this video. I'll encourage you to like, drop your comments, and share this video to your fellow traders, and share your views as well. Let's apply proper risk management to our trades, trade safe and sound, and I'll catch all of us on another episode. Take good care of yourselves and have a profitable week ahead of us. Thank you. Bye bye.